It was almost midnight when Marcus Hill wiped grease off his hands and checked his cracked phone. A text glowed on the screen. Kylie's asleep. Don't worry, she's safe. Just don't work too late again. He smiled faintly. His 8-year-old daughter was the reason he never quit. Outside the Vostek building, the parking lot shimmered with rain and luxury cars. Marcus leaned against his old Ford, still wearing his navy blue uniform marked maintenance. Across the street, the ballroom pulsed with music, the annual gala he'd helped set up but wasn't invited to. He watched the executives laughing under chandeliers, champagne in hand. That's when Claire Donovan, head of operations, stumbled out of the glass doors. Elegant dress, broken heels, and a smile that didn't quite hide her exhaustion. Marcus hesitated, but when she nearly fell into the street, instinct took over. "Ms. Donovan?" he called. She turned glassy-eyed. "Marcus, my favorite janitor/savior. Come to rescue me again." He chuckled softly. "Just making sure you get home safe." She fumbled for her keys. "Nobody drives my car but me." He caught the keys midair. "Then how about I drive you home?" Claire blinked, then laughed. "You're my hero tonight, Marcus Hill." Rain started again, soft, silver, cleansing, as he helped her into the car. The city glowed in reflections as Marcus drove through the wet streets. Claire leaned against the window, her perfect posture gone. "You ever wonder what it's like to just leave?" Marcus glanced over. "Leave what?" "The performance," she murmured. "The job, the image, the smile." He smiled faintly. "Can't say I've had much to perform." She laughed weakly. "You're lucky." Silence filled the car, broken only by the wipers and the hum of rain. "You married?" she asked. He shook his head. "Lost my wife when my daughter was born." Her eyes softened. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," he said quietly. "She left me the best part of her." For the first time, Claire didn't see a janitor. She saw a man carrying quiet storms and refusing to drown. They arrived at her high-rise downtown. Claire swayed slightly as she stepped out. "You really didn't have to." Marcus steadied her. "You'd have crashed into the Hudson otherwise." She laughed, then frowned, something fragile breaking behind her eyes. "Why are you so kind, Marcus?" "Because it's the right thing to do." Inside her glass and marble condo, the silence was heavy. He helped her to the couch, set water by her hand. "Stay till I fall asleep?" she whispered. "Just in case I die on my designer rug?" He smiled awkwardly. "Yes, ma'am." As she drifted off, he looked out at the glittering skyline. "Someday, baby girl," he murmured to himself, "we'll rise too." Sunlight poured through the tall windows. Claire woke to the smell of coffee. At first, she panicked, then saw Marcus at her counter, still in uniform, brewing quietly. "What the? You stayed here?" "You passed out," he said simply. "Didn't want to leave you alone." Embarrassment flushed her face. Then she saw his shoes, torn, soaked through, years old. "You made coffee?" "And toast," he smiled. "Not exactly 5-star, but it'll do." Claire laughed, then sighed. "You must think I'm pathetic." He shook his head. "No, ma'am." Just human over breakfast, she watched him quietly. His calm, his steadiness. "How long have you worked here?" 5 years, mostly nights. Easier with Kylie's schedule." "You have a daughter?" "Smartest 8-year-old alive," he said proudly. "Wants to be an astronaut." Claire smiled softly. "You ever thought about moving up?" Marcus hesitated. "Applied once." "Didn't get called." She frowned. "That job went to Jeff, the guy who's late every day." He shrugged. "Maybe they wanted someone who looked like him more than me." Silence, heavy and honest. For the first time, Claire truly heard what privilege sounded like. Back at her office later, Claire opened Marcus's file. Perfect attendance, 0 complaints, dozens of commendations. Under education, BS in mechanical engineering. Dropped out senior year after wife's passing. She stared at that line for a long time, then picked up the phone. "HR, schedule Marcus Hill in my office tomorrow morning." And not for cleaning, Marcus entered her office, confused. "You wanted to see me, ma'am?" "Sit down," she said, smiling. "I have a question for you." He sat wary. "Why are you mopping floors instead of leading a team?" He blinked. "Because no one ever asked me to." Claire leaned forward. "Well, I'm asking now." He frowned. "You don't owe me anything for helping you last night." "That's exactly why I'm doing this," she said. "You didn't help me for something." "That's what real leadership looks like." She slid a folder across the desk. "Facility Operations Coordinator. Silence, then softly, I'm offering you a promotion. Facility Operations Coordinator. Full salary. Day hours. Marcus stared at her, speechless. His throat tightened. I don't know what to say. Say yes, she said, smiling. He did. News spread fast. A few coworkers whispered behind his back. Guess it pays to drive the boss home, huh? One sneered. Marcus heard it, kept walking. But Claire didn't. She stepped right up to them. You think kindness is manipulation? She snapped. He earned his place. You want the same? Start treating people like people. They fell silent. The tone of the office changed that day. Weeks passed. Marcus adapted quickly, redesigning workflows, reducing repair times, training others. His leadership inspired not fear, but respect. Every evening he'd pick up Kylie from school. For the first time in years, he was home before dark. Claire often watched from afar, quietly proud. One evening, she stopped by the maintenance bay where Marcus was finishing up. You're changing things around here, she said. He smiled. Just doing my job, ma'am. She laughed softly. You really don't know how rare you are, do you? He shrugged. Just trying to be decent. She looked at him for a long moment, then said, You taught me something that night, Marcus. He raised an eyebrow. You taught me that humanity isn't ranked by paycheck. 6 months later, the annual gala again. But this time, Marcus wasn't outside watching. He stood on the stage beside Claire, wearing a clean gray suit, holding a plaque that read, Employee of the Year, for leadership, integrity, and humanity. The crowd applauded. Kylie cheered from the front row. Claire stepped up to the microphone. Last year, this man drove me home when I couldn't even stand. This year, he's helping drive our company forward. Marcus Hill, you remind us that true leadership starts with compassion. Marcus swallowed hard. I just did what anyone should do, he said softly. My mama used to tell me, son, the world doesn't change when you get rich. It changes when you get kind. The applause that followed wasn't polite, it was genuine. Even those who once whispered now stood. As the crowd rose, Claire leaned in and whispered, You've got a future here, Marcus. He smiled. So does Kylie. They both looked toward the little girl clapping in the front row, her eyes full of hope, her smile brighter than any light in the room. Status fades, kindness lasts. Sometimes the person you overlook is the one who will remind you what humanity really means.